Welcome here to another preseason interview show here on OpenSpacesSports.com and Cakeland Sports, brought to you by Farm Credit of Western Kansas. Joining me today is Coach Lance Barr of the Hoxie Indians. And Coach, what can we expect from this year's football team?
You know, we're an experienced team this year. We had some sophomores and juniors that really got some great experience last year. We returned all of our players, so we're looking for a great season.
All right, you can catch more of this interview with Coach Lance Barr on OpenSpacesSports.com. Coach, as you look forward to this season, you return a lot of guys that have a lot of experience. Expectations are high this year?
Yeah, absolutely. We want to compete for those championships, whether it's our league championship, district championship, and you know, go into the playoffs with a nice head of steam, you know, going, so we can go in confident and hopefully do some damage once we get there.
8-man football has always been kind of a numbers game, and in the last few years, you've kind of steadily increased on numbers coming in. How important is that, and where are you at in numbers this year?
Yeah, we're sitting at about 25 kids we had this morning. You know, I think we had 23 last year. Before that, it's usually been around 16. So it's always important, you know, for those numbers for your depth and for your JV program. You know, last year was one of the first years we could have a full JV schedule. I think that's gonna carry over and help you be more successful on your varsity team. So it definitely is important. If we could keep it at that 25 number, you know, maybe even grow a little bit, that'd be great.
You know, last year you didn't have a senior, so leadership was always a kind of a question, which one of them kids is going to step up and fill into that role. This year you do have some seniors. What do you expect in the leadership department? Do you expect those guys to be those leaders?
You know, yeah, you always want your seniors to step up a little bit more once they become those seniors, you know, be leaders. But you know, I think we have 8 to 10 guys that could step up and be a leader of this team, and they need to do that. You know, these guys have started all together for a full year. They know what's expected of them. They know all of our schemes. They know what to do. So, you know, we've seen it this summer. You know, they've helped our young kids, our freshmen, our sophomore, even our junior high kids had a camp with us, and they were helping them guys out. You know, being more like coaches than you know, just their teammates. So, really helping those younger kids out. And it's across the board with those upperclassmen, the juniors, seniors.
When you come into a season like this, maybe where the expectations are high for you, what are your strengths? What do you feel like your strengths are coming into the season, and what do you expect, I guess, in that regard? I
think our strengths are on our offensive and defensive line. Those kids, you know, Colton Heskett, Jared Dybel, Tay, they've been working together for the last couple of years now. You know, those three on the D-line. We had Chris Cox, who's going to come in and help us a bunch in there on the D-line as well. And offensive lines, those three again, and then you add our 2 tight ends there, and they've all been working together for at least 2 years, some of them 3 years. So there's a lot of experience, a lot of camaraderie within our defensive and offensive fronts. So that's huge. They know how to work together, and you know, our backs are doing great, seeing the holes, and those guys up front are doing a great job opening it up for them.
With your district and your league, it's maybe one of the toughest ones in 8-man football, really. And you know, last year you were a good team, but just you know, by proxy of where you're located, end up playing against the St. Francis, who was in the championship game, and an Atwood team that was really good. I think this year you're probably expected to be on the top end of that maybe this year, but with how important is it, and how much of a value is it, I guess, to have such good competition in your district?
I think it's really important when you're going into that bi-district game or a regional game. You know, you've seen the type of competition you should be seeing at you know, in that first and second round of the playoffs. So you have an idea of what to expect. You know, when it comes around week 3, 4, and 5, and we're playing, you know, those teams that we lost to last year, Sharon Springs and Atwood and Saney. That's the type of field we got to go in with. You know, it's a playoff game for us. We gotta avenge those losses this year.
All right, Coach, you can catch plenty more of Hoxie Indian football right here on OpenSpacesSports.com with myself. We appreciate Lance Barr taking the time to stop and talk with us today.